Skagway interview series, episode 5. We're here with
Hello.
Benjamin. Care to introduce yourself, Benjamin?
My name is Benjamin Alexander Sherlikes. Hard to spell when you're younger, but that's my name.
All right. And what led you here to Skagway?
I have always, inside of me, had the call of the wild, and last couple of years have been really rough on me in my hometown of Utah. And so I looked up on Indeed jobs in Alaska, and I applied for literally every single job listing in Alaska. Fishing jobs, any job that would literally supply housing or get me away from Utah. And I got one job reply from a place called Klondike Electric here in Skagway, and did the interview. Interview was great. Started saving, said my goodbyes in Utah, and came up here. Spent pretty much all my money to come up here.
That's how it works.
Yep. And I got up here with like $100 in my bank account. Went to Juneau, and first thing I did was go to the pot shop in Juneau, and that plane ride in is fucking insane.
It is insanely beautiful.
Those mountains are.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I thought I seen mountains in Utah, but then you come in through Alaska and you're like, God damn, those are some fucking mountains.
Well, how do you like Skagway?
Skagway is a place that tests your abilities as a human, and you either make it or break it.
Oh, yeah.
My first job didn't end very well. I had an interest in metalworking and foraging and doing stuff like that, and I borrowed some tools from the place, and they thought I was stealing the tools, so they told me to go find a new place to live and a new job, and I didn't have any time to explain myself. So I had 3 days to figure out new job and new housing, so I went around trying to do that stuff. Got a job at the liquor store, and then also I got a job at the pizza parlor, Skagway Pizza. Skagway Pizza was my housing. It was $600 a month to share a room with somebody, all the way on 19th. And then I was grinding hard as fuck, trying to do my shit. And then every single day was work day. I had no days off. And I was just to myself and making money, not really making money.
Yeah.
But then I kind of got fed up with the way that the pizza place was treating me as an employee, and the housing situation in general. So I got double booked on a shift for the liquor store. I opened at the liquor store, and then I was scheduled for the pizza place. I told the pizza place that I couldn't work that day, so I worked at the liquor store, and I opened up and I did my normal shift. And then after I was done, I went and tried to do the second half of my shift, because the pizza place thought it was a great idea to give me a 10 to 3 and then have a 3-hour gap as a break, and then be on again from 6 to close. So it was just the stupidest shift, and I was on that for almost 3 weeks, and it was just enough. It was enough. So I did that, and they told me that I wasn't making the pizza place the first priority. So they fired me.
They have the shittiest fucking pizza, dude.
So they fired me and told me that I had to find a new place to live.
And look at what you're in now.
Well, this came a couple weeks after, which is crazy. So I stopped living there, moved all of my stuff into the liquor store because I was living up above the liquor store for a couple of days, and that's when shit started getting like really weird and feeling like I was not welcome. So I went up to Whitehorse, Canada, and the Yukon, and I bought a 1999 Ford Ranger Super Cab, and bought that thing on the spot. I took my 3-day break from work to go up to Whitehorse. I stayed the night at a hostel for like $40, and then I bought the truck the next day, and I didn't have the title at the time because the dude had moved to like British Columbia, like Victoria area, so he had the title with him, so I didn't have the title at the time of me purchasing the vehicle, which was the most terrifying thing ever. But I did it, and I came through the border, and I declared the vehicle, and everything went fine, and I told them what was up, and they were like, okay, sounds good, and like, everything's fine. So I was living in my truck for a couple of weeks, driving out to Dai, coming back here to Skagway, um, finding camping spots over at Reed Falls and Seven Pastures, and I was just sleeping in the bed of my truck every night, making food after work, chilling out, getting super high all the time. And then after that, one day, Garrett, otherwise known as Gander, um, first off, I met Gander my third week here. He was walking down the street and he was dressed so ridiculously.
Was he in the poncho?
He was in his JoJo's Bizarre.
Oh, the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure thing, yeah.
And I was just like, dude, this dude is dressed to my liking. So I commented on the way that he was dressed, and then we connected over the fact that we were both from Utah, and I grew up in Park City, Utah, and he grew up in Heber, Utah, which was like a 15-minute drive away from each other, which was insane. But back to that was when Gander invited me to go out to the point to have like a little fire thing, and and I was like, you know what? Why not? What's the worst that could happen? So I went out there, and then I connected with Isla and Jathia and Gander as well, and then I ended up living in this thing eventually.
Oh.
And yeah.
So another question in this interview is, I'm making these to like show my friends and family back home, all my cool close friends, which means you're a close friend. How did you and I meet, to the best of your recollection?
The first time that I had seen you, you were busking right across from Alaska Fairy Tales.
Going back to
Yes.
Okay. You're busking right across with your guitar. And if you want to go in there.
Yeah.
Don't pause it.
I'm not pausing it. This is part of the interview. Jack Einhoff's going back to bed. We gotta go inside. I was busking across from Alaskan Fairy Tales with my guitar.
Do you want to take the chair in here?
No, we're fine.
You want to stand?
I'm gonna stand.
Oh my god. It's so messy.
It's not that bad.
It's pretty fucking bad.
I've seen worse.
Okay. You were busking across from Alaska Fairy Tales, and you were doing your tunes, and you were quite pleasantly well, and that was like the first time that I seen you. It was the beginning of the season, and then after that, I think, hmm, I think, when was the first time?
I remember seeing you in the liquor store and telling you you look like my friend Chris Bates.
Yes, I do remember that. And then I told Isla and everybody that, and we looked up Chris Bates, and we were like, "What?" And then I remember Kaya for a while, you and Kaya, and we, like whenever you would come in, it would be like those interactions. I would see you in the liquor store.
What's
And
my
then
default liquor store purchase?
Black Velvet or Canadian Hunter, and then a pack of Stokes.
Oh yeah. Awesome. Well, Benjamin, this interview's running long. We're already at
Yes,
11 minutes. I love it.
Jesus Christ.
But before we end this thing, is there any like life advice or anything that you want to give out? You know, something that makes you tick, something you believe in that everyone should hear?
Um, I've been through some shit in my life, as well as everybody else, and no matter how life gets, there's always the purpose of finding the next beautiful thing to seek within yourself and what makes your life happy. And it doesn't matter what everybody else's life has to have make them happy in your life, because whatever you're doing, and if that is what you want to do and that's what makes you tick, then fuck what everybody else says, because having fun and enjoying life and being happy with your own feelings and your own pleasures is the joyous of what human biology shows. I don't fucking know. I'm just saying shit right now.
Well, everybody, this has been Benjamin.
Hello.
Benjamin, remember, don't sweat the petty stuff. At
The
the
sweaty
sweaty
stuff.
stuff.